Very good morning, everyone. So, welcome to the session on Bijira. This is API PaaS for the cloud and AI era. So, I'm Pubudu Gunatilaka. I'm the head of architecture for API MBU. So, I'm looking into the on-prem API manager version as well as Bijira, our cloud offering. So, in this session, I'll focus on the key features that we have introduced in Bijira and some improvements that will help you to understand how the API management landscape is moving on. All right, so let's get started. So right now we have basically on-prem API manager version which has the support for multiple API gateways, and then we have launched Bijira in last March, as Chris explained. So it is more focused towards AI native, and we are bringing more features on the AI landscape. Now we have MCP server features. So I'll quickly go through why Bijira, why we basically wanted to have a more focused API management experience. So one of the key considerations we looked at there was we wanted to give more improved user experience. So we have introduced visual mapping UI and policy management aspects. I'll cover those in the coming slides. And then we have the unified control plane. We are not basically restricting the Bijira control plane for the cloud data planes or the private data planes. We are moving to federated API gateways, as well as we are basically going to govern your on-prem API gateways as well. So we have features covering AI for APIs, from specification generation to other features. I'll cover those as well. Then we have the APIs for AI, we have the API governance, and also we have now AI gateway capabilities. And from Bijira, basically we looked at different API requests like ingress API management, egress, and also AI APIs. And as I mentioned earlier, so we have now introduced MCP server capabilities where you can help with your AI agent integrations. So here's the architecture of Bijira. So the control plane is where you can create, deploy, test, manage, and observe your APIs. That's where your developers and the admins get involved. Then you have the authentication and key management functionality, and also the developer portal. That's where the developers or the app developers basically come and discover your APIs. Then on the data plane side, we have the ingress and egress gateway. Now the egress gateway is powered with the AI gateway. And also we have the observability and insights. Basically, we looked at analytics as well. And the data plane is where you connect with your backend services, where you connect with your third-party APIs, third-party services, and also the AI services. So let's look at some of the key features in Bijira. So starting with the user experience that we have introduced. So we have the proxy mapping UI where you can interactively basically add policies to your resources. And then we have the unified API page where this page has the functionality to basically some overview to all the functionalities related to your API. Then the idea is that basically with a one page you have one single pane to understand how your API is behaving. And when it comes to API mapping, the idea is that you can easily map your services to your API proxy contract. So you can combine multiple proxies which will be available in the few months time. So basically with the interactive mode, you can map your existing service resources to something in the API proxy. Right. So when it comes to unified control plane, as I explained earlier, we are moving to API gateway federations. Soon we'll be having the support to AWS gateway. And then basically we will be expanding this control plane to govern all the on-prem gateways as well. So with this, we have a single control plane where you have a single pane for all your APIs, for all your API gateways. This will give you more understandable aspects when it comes to APIs and API gateways. So when it comes to Bijira control plane, where now we have the ability to deploy data planes in any given environment. This can be your AWS subscription where you can have a private data plane. So whenever you create all your APIs will go there, as well as we have the ability to use Azure, Google Cloud, and also this can be your on-prem data plane, which can be running on any Kubernetes environment. So Chris went through this. Basically, the idea now we have launched Bijira support to EU region as well. So previously we only had the control plane support in US, and there was an ability where you can have a cloud data planes in US as well as now EU. So with the new release, you have the complete data isolation where you have the control plane and the data plane that basically resides in the EU region. So this gives you, so there are regulatory aspects. So with this, EU customers can use Bijira in their region. Right, so let's look at how hierarchies, teams, and permission maps. So at the root level, you have the organization, then you can have different projects. So these projects can be based on your departments or based on your functionalities or the way you define your projects. So within a given project, you can manage your APIs. So here, as you can see an example, you have the old API in one project, then the other project you have different set of APIs. So these projects are again mapped to different environments where one API can go into dev. Likewise, you can map these APIs into different environments. So these environment again can be mapped to your private data plane, and also it can be the cloud data plane as well. Right, so let's look at some of the AI capabilities that we have introduced for APIs. The first one is about bringing AI into the picture where you can provide your use case in natural language where it will generate an open API specification. You can give more context to it. You can chat with the chatbot and basically improve your open API. So then from there you can basically create the API and do the API management of it. And also you can use this open API to develop your backend service as well if you start from API first strategy. So the second one is about bringing natural language based API testing. So you can provide your testing mechanism in natural language where the AI will help you to convert your message into executable API request. So you can easily execute API requests with the chat interface that we have provided there. And when it comes to API developer portal theming, now we have the ability where you can just provide your organization domain and we will theme developer portal based on your organization fonts, based on your organization color theme, based on the styles that you have applied. So basically we will go through your website and figure these out, and then on top of those information, we apply the same configuration to developer portal theming as well. So you don't need to invest time on this. Basically, you can get the help of AI and start from there. Right, so let's look at some of the capabilities again in APIs for AI. So if you take organizations today, you have natural language based basically English documents which explains your best practices when it comes to API management, API development, how you create an API, and there are documents which you basically explain the security aspects likewise. So normally by the time you have these documents, you will go through that, but in the long run you don't follow this. With the capability we have in Bijira, you can bring all these documents to Bijira, and we will look at these natural language docs and apply governance rules out of it. So you can basically get these documents to Bijira and apply these policies across all your APIs, and you can get a view how your APIs are behaving, whether the APIs are secured. Likewise, based on the rules that are there in the document, you can have an analysis for all your APIs. In addition to that, we have the spectral rule-based governance as well, where you can go for different rules, where you define other governance policies as well. Right, so when it comes to API landscape, we can identify API requests that are categorized into these areas: ingress APIs, egress APIs, and AI APIs. So the ingress is about the traffic that comes from your client applications to your services that you have created. Then egress is about the traffic that goes from your services to the third-party APIs or third-party services that you consume. Third-party APIs can be Instagram, Shopify, Salesforce, likewise. Then there is the other traffic now with AI services coming into the picture. Now you have OpenAI, Mistral, Llama, and different kind of AI services. Now that there are traffic coming from basically going out from your services to these AI services to when you are utilizing any AI level features. So this is again the new traffic that we see, and that's where you have the WSO2 AI gateway as well to make sure you govern all these capabilities. So if I start with the ingress API management, basically you can start with the API contract, or you can start with an endpoint, or you can start from scratch and create APIs, or even you can use the AI-powered design assistant where you provide your query in natural language and create an API. So when it comes to egress API management, we have a API catalog that we have identified some of the APIs that are there in the industry. By just going through the catalog, you can select the API, and then you can basically create an API proxy for your use case. Or otherwise, you can use the API contract that you have, and then you can create an API. Right, so coming back to AI API management, so basically now Bijira has the AI gateway. So what does it do here is that you can do model-based routing. Based on the model, you can route to different region, you can route to different data centers, likewise you can route to different endpoints as well. And then you have the token-based rate limiting as well, where based on your query, you can basically check the relevant tokens and do the rate limiting as well. Then there are guardrails which will help you to identify any hate speech, PII stuff. Likewise, you can basically enforce these guardrails as well. Then prompt management is one of the aspects where you can enrich your prompts, where basically when a user provides some chat, you can improve that with some background context as well. So then we have the adaptive routing where you can do round robin and failover for your models. So this will help you to utilize your models and go for basically you can save some expenses as well. Then we have the semantic caching where you can basically stop overutilizing your backends as well. And on top of these, you have the identity and access management where you can secure your APIs, and then we have the observability and analytics. So when it comes to analytics, it is crucial to identify how your AI APIs are doing, what are the consumptions, and how far your model has been utilized. Likewise, it will give you an idea, it will help you to plan your AI services as well. So that's one aspect. And then we have the other request and response policies where you can do mediation within the AI gateway itself as well. Right. So with Bijira, we introduced the new developer portal. So one aspect we looked at there was we looked at the experience from end to end in the developer portal. We improved the experience where they can easily discover the API and they can basically subscribe to an application and use these APIs in their application development. So as I mentioned earlier, you can use the AI-based theming to customize the developer portal, and also you can do various other customizations where you can bring organizational landing page, and also you can bring API landing pages as well. So there are scenarios where you need to have more information than they are in the developer portal. So in addition to these, there are separate pages like technical and business pages. You can fully customize all these business pages as well. Right, so let's look at how we can connect APIs to AI agents. So this is as Chris mentioned, this is very recently introduced for Bijira. So if you look at how agents operate today, so the idea is that agents will get some inputs. So these inputs can be the documents that you upload, the conversation you have with the AI agent, likewise. Then it uses these inputs and do the reasoning where it looks at the knowledge base it has, and it looks at the memory where it can find the conversation that you had, likewise. Then when it comes to actions, it can execute an API request, it can execute some service call, or even it can be just like executing some code to make executable way. So likewise, it will execute all these scenarios and until it achieves the expected goal. Right. So this MCP, which is a model context protocol, it's a new open standard which was introduced by Anthropic. It's an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to LLMs. So it's a universal adapter for AI agents. So the idea is that if you are developing an AI agent and if you want to consume several APIs for a given functionality, you will have to uniquely call these APIs because these APIs have different request and response schemas. But with the MCP coming into the picture, now you have a unified API for all your AI agents So the MCP will do the conversion and call the relevant APIs based on the request and response that are defined there. Right, so let's look at some of the capabilities that we have introduced when it comes to MCP server management. So let's say you have a backend service which is written in REST or any language where you expose a REST service. You can bring your OpenAPI definition and convert your backend service into MCP server. So then you can add documentation, you can add descriptions. So these descriptions are very important. So these descriptions will be used in AI agents to understand what this tool is doing, how it is functioning likewise. So you have to add these descriptions to MCP server so that AI agents can discover the usability of this MCP server. And then you can apply different policies like security, rate limiting for these MCP servers as well. And finally, you can push these MCP servers into MCP Hub. So MCP Hub is a discovery portal. I'll come to that later. So that's where you can basically get your AI agent developers, similar to application developers, to figure your MCP servers and implement these in their AI agent workflows. So the next one is about, let's say you already have an API proxy that have been utilized in different application development. The second one is about that. Now with a one button click, you can generate an MCP server for that API proxy as well. Similar to the flow that I explained, you can add some metadata, you can add policies, and then finally you can push it to the MCP Hub. And the third one is about where you already have an MCP server with the MCP coming into the picture. There are MCP servers you can find in different services. So you can bring these MCP servers and manage these within Bijira, where you can apply governance, you can apply various policies, and you can have a unified management experience through Bijira. And eventually you can push it to the MCP Hub as well. Right, so MCP Hub is a dedicated discovery portal for agents. So in this listing, you can have MCP server tools, and we don't basically display any APIs like REST, GraphQL, likewise. So this dedicated portal will only have MCP servers and their documentation. You can customize with different theming options as well. So we have the playground option as well. You can try out MCP servers through the Bijira developer portal as well and understand how this works likewise. Right, so we have API insights when it comes to Bijira as well, where you have analytics information where you can figure it out how your APIs are doing, what are their request counts, what are the latencies, and what are the slow APIs. Likewise, you can have a detailed analysis from Bijira, where we have the inbuilt analytics capabilities. And also now we have the MOSIF integration as well, where once you provide the keys, we push your data into MOSIF platform as well. With that, you can basically do a lot of analysis there and basically get that analysis information to grow your business. Right, so you can try Bijira today. You can sign up and explore how Bijira is doing, what are the key capabilities, and how you can utilize these in your SaaS API management. For demos, you can visit the O2 bar. We have a dedicated team to go through the platform and show you the capabilities. Or you can contact WSO2. We will do demos and go through the flow as well. Right, then thank you very much.